Good day and welcome everyone to GrainSense's product launch event. We are very excited to have you all join us here today to learn about our new product, the GrainSense Flow Analyzer. My name is Greg Simonson and I am the Business Development Manager here at GrainSense. I will be your host today showcasing this exciting new product. We have prepared a demonstration for this new solution which you'll see in a few minutes' time. We'll also be discussing the benefits of real-time grain quality analysis and how your business can use this technology to ensure every crop is fit for the right purpose at the right price using the right resources. At the end of the event, we also have reserved time for your questions that we have received beforehand, and we encourage you to put your questions into the chat during this presentation. We'll get back to your questions in the Q&A session at the end of the event. You'll receive a link to the recording after this event, so if there's any detail you want to go back and review, or if you need to leave early, you can always watch this again later. So, with that, I hope you have a nice cup of coffee in front of you, or tea, because we're about to start the event now. And we'll begin by having a look at GrainSense as a company. At GrainSense, we have two different products that we have out to the market. You can see on the left side of the screen the handheld GrainSense device, which many of you will be familiar with. Again, that's very useful in supporting grain producers, livestock farmers, researchers, grain traders, and the food industry as a whole. And on the right side of the screen you can see the GrainSense Flow Analyzer, which we will be covering more on today. And that can be used in silos, grain elevators, dryers, and combine harvesters. Look at GrainSense in the marketplace. So a bit of a timeline here. So GrainSense began operations in 2016. Based out of Oulu, Finland, where we are still based today. The following year, we had a product launch at Agritechnica in 2017. And now, in 2022, we are widening our portfolio with the addition of the GrainSense Flow Analyzer. And touching on the handheld devices, we have over 1,500 GrainSense handheld devices spread out over the world in 40 different countries. And on the map here you can see we're in North, South America, good concentration in Europe, Africa, India, Australia, Japan, and we're planning to grow that map as well. Having a look here at GrainSense calibrations and the manufacturing. So at headquarters in Oulu, we have a state-of-the-art laboratory where we have skilled, trained technicians, laboratory technicians, and as well as operators and engineers. And every year, we collect samples worldwide to help improve with our calibration robustness. All right, so let's have a look at the GrainSense Flow Analyzer. So at the top here, we have the dosing unit, which contains an auger. And here's the tube that goes down into our sensor, which includes the camera here in the middle. And here at the end of this dosing unit, you see there's another tube that goes on. And that's just to make sure that we don't overflow the system here. So that's a bypass tube going here. So we also have back in behind the sensor here, we call it the gateway. So that's a connection for the data that's collected here back into the cloud, so then we can further process that information. So the GrainSense Flow Analyzer is meant to be installed in mainly two different situations, one being the combine harvester and the other being grain facilities, so in places where grain is moved around, so at a grain elevator or at a producer's in their own facilities, in their own yards, or where you have a grain dryer. So those are the two main areas where the GrainSense Flow has a place to be installed. So the GrainSense Flow, currently we have two grains that it measures parameters for, and those being wheat and barley. And the two main parameters that we're looking at currently is protein and moisture. So the power source here, you can see this is the motor that runs the auger here. And so this is electric, so the power source can be one 10 volt and two 30 volt as well. And so now we'll start here. We'll take a measurement. So here's the interface, very user friendly. So here we'll just have a look at the settings. So here you can set up the internet. So you can either have Wi-Fi as the source or else SIM or satellite. And here you can select the language, so it's set up for English, but we have a number of other languages that we support as well. So here we can start taking the measurements. And so here it's set up for wheat, and that's what we have in the system currently. So right now it's showing, you can take the measurement at different intervals. So right now it's set up to take test every 5 seconds. So you can just click here, and I'll change that to 1 second in between tests, and click OK. And so the camera interval here is showing to be set up for 10 seconds in between. I'll change that to 5 seconds. Click OK. And another thing that we can do here is change the alarm. So for example, when the GrainSense Flow Analyzer is installed in a dryer setting, this is a perfect application of this, where if you're drying grain, say if it's wheat starting out at 18% moisture and you want to bring it down to dry at 14.5% moisture, you can set the alarm so that it goes off once you have reached a moisture of 14.5%. And then that will help you, so then you're not over drying your grain and spending more. And the same parameters and same options here are included for barley as well. So we'll save this. And now I'll put the system to go. So now it's just sending the settings. So on the top here, it's showing the latest protein. It's actually an average of the last 5 measurements here shown on the left. And then on the right side, it's showing the moisture percentages. And on the bottom here, so that's application of the camera. So you have, it's showing the green percentage for the green kernels. So 1.2% is what it's showing for the running average right now, and broken kernels at 0.8%. And here's the clear tube where you can see that it's flowing through the system, where it gets the camera and all the other information recorded. And a little more about the camera here. The GrainSense Flow Analyzer includes an optional camera vision system, which is based on state-of-the-art technology using machine learning. With this technology, users will get percentage of green and broken kernels seen by the camera vision system. Using this data from the camera, the user will have more insight on the grain quality, allowing them to make better informed management decisions. So now I can click here to stop the session. And now we can have a look over here at the dashboard to see the measurements that we have done. So if I click here at this one, silo is the name of it. So up at the top here we have protein and moisture. So it shows the minimum of 12.3% on the left and the maximum of 16.2 on the right, and moisture a minimum of 10.3 and a maximum of 11.4%. And then if we look down, there's some charting options that we can use here to further delve into the information that we're getting from the GrainSense flow analyzer. So here it's showing the percentage charted along a graph here, and we can also delve further into that information looking at the distribution of the protein. So this helps to get a picture of perhaps a average of the overall protein here when you see it in a distribution perspective. And you can do the same thing here then with moisture content. And then so this picture here actually is the last picture that was taken during this particular session. So this session here is named Silo, and you can also down in this box here put different notes just to help keep track of whatever operation you have going on at the time. Now let's look at some of the benefits of the GrainSense flow analyzer. So in application, when it's installed in a grain handling facility, when you look at moisture, for example, you can be monitoring the moisture levels of the grain while receiving, while blending, as well as when you're shipping the grain. Another application is during the drying of grain. You can monitor that very closely to see the response of the moisture levels in the grain to your, for example, your temperature of your burner while you're drying, and also to make sure that you're not over drying the grain and thus spending more money on energy that you wouldn't need to. Also then when you look at the protein level that we'll be monitoring with our device, you can use that to blend and maximize the return for the protein level in the grain. And we also have the camera available for the grain handling facilities, and with the camera you'll be able to keep a close monitor on the green percentage as well as the broken kernel percentage of the grain, and we'll be able to monitor that in real time as well. The data from this will be stored and saved where it can be used to analyze the different parameters of the grain later and make storage and different management decisions based on that. Some of the benefits where we see when this device has been installed in a combine harvester is when you look at the data after harvesting of a field, you can do field mapping to see the different areas of the field, how they responded to fertilizer and different moisture and different environmental conditions. And from those maps you should be able to make better decisions in the future as it pertains to, for example, fertilizer application in the following spring. So as you can see, there are many benefits to the installation of the GrainSense flow analyzer, whether it be in a grain handling facility or in a combine harvester. And with that, we'll make some adjustments here and we'll move on to the Q&A session. Okay, for our question and answer section here, I'm happy to introduce our Chief Operating Officer, Antti Leinonen. Antti has been very actively involved with the development of the GrainSense analyzer. So I'm happy to welcome Antti, and we'll go through a number of questions here that we've received from the people in the audience while they did their registration. So welcome, Antti.
Thanks, Greg. My pleasure to be here with you, and greetings to the audience.
Okay, as you see, you also would have an opportunity in the chat to ask questions during this question and answer period. But to start off with, we'll go through some of these questions that were submitted previous. But yes, please feel free to submit any questions you may have at this point as well in the chat. So the first question here is concerning the different types of grain that can be used with the GrainSense flow analyzer. So currently it's measuring wheat and barley. What about other species? Are there any other species that will be available for testing, and if so, when?
Yeah, thanks. This is a really good first question. And yes, we start with wheat and barley, and then we are planning to release calibrations also for rapeseed, canola, and maize and soybean later this year. So this is the plan, that we will have these 5 different species available during this year.
Yeah, so we're definitely very excited to be adding some more species to our lineup. So yeah. The next question I see here is concerning the installation. So do you have anything to say concerning the installation? As noted during the demonstration, it can be installed in basically kind of 2 main areas, one being the combine harvester and the other in grain elevator. So do you have any comments concerning the installation?
Yes, during the development project, we have really made the installation flexible and easy to do. So we provide with the product installation instructions, and then we also have with the product mounting kit, which really helps the assembler or the one who makes the installation. It's to be easy, and the important thing to notice is that there will be this hose that will be connected somewhere where this grain will be available. So that is the only thing that needs to be taken care of, that there is always this grain available for the auger. So that is really important thing to notice. But otherwise, it's done to be really flexible.
Yeah. And if there is any questions, we're definitely happy to be available to assist in the installation.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. Question here concerning maintenance. Is there any specific maintenance that might be required for the GS flow analyzer?
Yes, the design itself is really robust. It's designed to tolerate this dust and harsh environment, but from time to time it is of course good to clean it. And we do provide a brush with the product, so this glass tube that goes through this GS flow sensor unit can be cleaned by first detaching those hose clamps and then just manually cleaning the tube. So that is maybe the biggest thing concerning the maintenance.
Yeah. Kate, we'll move on to the next question here, and that's concerning oil. So the question is, does this technology also measure oil content?
Yes, so we start with wheat and barley, but going towards oilseed, so rapeseed, canola, and then soybean, absolutely oil is always there, and it is really one of those key parameters that this technology measures. So yes, oil is there.
Yes, so we're definitely happy to have that included for sure. Another question we have here, actually that's the second part to that question. So this is more relating to reliability and accuracy of the device.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the statistical reliability of your analytical data compared to laboratory testing of the same grains?
Yes, really good and important question. And we do have really nice facilities here in Oulu. Our laboratory is state of the art, and we have all the reference measurements available. and we have made a really hard work to make all the best for these calibration, for this accuracy question. So I could estimate, as I said, not going to do details, but for protein with wheat and barley, it will be 0.6, one standard deviation in protein, and then for the moisture content, it will be slightly better, so something like 0.5, 1% unit, one standard deviation.
Right. Yes, we're definitely happy to share that we do have a reliable and accurate device to be installed with the GS Flow analyzer.
Yes.
So, it looks like we are starting to maybe get some questions in the chat, so good to see that. Question here, with reference to grain defects, is there any possibility to quantify
Grain
defects? So that would be concerning, for example, the camera, right? So that's a question basically quantifying, like currently we're able to quantify broken kernels and green kernels. So the question is concerning grain defects. So
yes, so this machine learning technology itself is really superb, and we have just started with these two functionalities, so this green and broken kernels, but I'm sure that there will be like other features too in the pipeline, but now
Right.
we are concentrating on these two. But
Right,
yes,
yeah.
I would bet yes.
So yeah, basically it's something that we don't cover currently, but we're definitely, with the AI technology, it's definitely something that we'd be able to adapt. And
yeah, it is like I've been so overwhelmed how fastly those technologies can be taught
Right.
to measure different things. So
right, yeah,
looking forward with this
yeah,
one.
for sure, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. So we have a question here concerning pricing. Can you share anything today concerning the price of the GrainSense Flow Analyzer?
So the pricing information is available through our sales channels. So we have two approaches there. So the audience could contact our sales through our website. So the contact information is there, and also one possibility is to contact the local distributor, as we have this global distributing network for GrainSense available. So why not to use that too?
Right, yeah. Next question here I'm seeing is concerning timing of availability. So what is the delivery time when someone were to place an order?
Yeah, due to the really high demand, we are now estimating and allocating deliveries from 8 to 12 weeks. So I really encourage the audience and the ones who are interested in to contact our sales to really be early there to get those analyzers soon enough.
Right, I agree. Yeah, we definitely have had lots of people excited to hear about this new product. So I think that's a wise advice there for sure. Get your orders in soon. So the camera, the next question here is concerning the camera. What kind of camera is it that is used in the GS Flow?
Yes, this camera is really the breakthrough technology in this field, and we have full HD level camera, state-of-the-art camera, CMOS technology, and it is also this BOE technology, so we can power up it through the Ethernet. So really flexible and effective solution that we have there.
Okay, thank you. Looks like we are still getting some more questions in the chat box here as well. So thanks for all of you that are putting questions. And again, we encourage you to enter more questions as they come to your mind. A question here concerning manufacture of the device. So where is the device manufactured?
This device is manufactured in Finland. I'm really proud of that. This comes because we have in Finland really high quality standards when producing equipment, so I can guarantee that everything is perfectly done and the quality will be there.
Yeah. Okay. Another question here again concerning the camera, maybe looking at it from a little bit different angle. So can you recognize anything else from pictures other than the green and broken kernels?
Yeah, we kind of started this discussion already, and this is a nice thing to continue on. So yes, we are planning to have plenty of different other quality parameters there. Maybe to mention two nice candidates, the next one could be maybe the mold, and the second one could be the unwanted species. So if there is some mixed batches, then that will be of course a bad thing and can be recognized. So mixed species, and then that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I can see application of that, for example, in the brewing industry, or so in maltsters. You know, for example, they want pure barley running through their system, obviously. So this would be an opportunity where we could look at if there's wheat contamination using the camera, as well as a situation at an oat plant, for example, if they're wanting to have gluten-free product. Obviously, you don't want wheat in the oat as well. So I think there's a number of different applications for the camera, for sure. Yeah. Very exciting. Question here concerning the certification. So is the GrainSense Flow Analyzer CE certified?
Yes, it needs to be, so that we can sell it, it needs to be CE certified. So this product goes under the machinery directive, and we have carefully tested it against those harmonized standards. And it is really good that this machinery directive really underlines the safety of the product, and we have done a good job to fulfill those requirements listed there.
Yeah, okay. I'm seeing another question here that came from the chat. So this is again concerning the camera. So can you measure Fusarium disease using pictures produced from the camera?
Yeah, made by those, like, I'm not sure bugs, but the visibility of that kind of features, of course, goes close to another, like, unwanted things. So it is something that I couldn't promise yet, but we are really looking forward to start like researching also these kind of things. But maybe we go first with these little bit easier ones.
Right. Yeah. So it's definitely something that we're interested in pursuing, yes. But it'll be in the queue for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the flow rate of the analyzer? How much product flows through it?
Yes, sure. So there is this DC motor with which rotating speed is adjustable, and we have found out best results with this flow rate 100 grams per second, which equals to 1 kilogram per 10 seconds, and further on then 360 kilograms per hour. So that is a rough estimate of the flow going through the sensor.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's definitely enough product that runs through our system to get a very good representative sample of the grain flowing through any given system. So we're definitely happy with the flow that we're able to put through it. So here's another purchasing question. So if I want to buy this product, where can I buy it?
So the product is available through our sales channel, so I encourage everyone to contact our sales channel through our website or then contacting the local distributor.
Okay. Okay, this is another one kind of related to the flow rate question there. Do you know the rotating speed of the delivery auger?
Yes, so the motor rotates 3000 rounds per minute, and then there is a gear 15:1 relation, so it makes it 200 rounds per minute, and roughly calculating it is close to 3 rounds per second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I have another one here in the chat. I'm not sure that I can quite make it out here, but can you measure from the pictures of the kernels the 1,000 kernel weight?
Yes, this is a nice question, by the way. This could be kind of possible because we could catch those pictures, and the machine vision actually detects each individual grain, and then by estimating it to some reference model, it could be possible to do. So sounds really interesting idea.
Okay. Yeah.
Could be researched further.
There's some potential there then.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, we have, it looks here, what we have is approximately a handful more of questions here, so if there's anyone that's wanting to ask any further questions from the chat, please do so. You still do have some time. So the next question I have here is concerning the input electricity. What is the input electricity for this?
Yeah, it's mains power, so you can connect it to 110 on the or then 230 AC voltage levels, but there needs to be in case of open connection, then there needs to be a professional doing that, but mainly it's the mains plug.
Okay. So we went through during the demonstration the alarm. There's a question concerning that. So can you speak more about how the alarm output works?
Yeah, as demonstrated, there is this important use case for low moisture level, and we can get that alarm to our relay outputs, which are located inside the electrical cabinet or the gateway box, and it could be used from there to command the dryer. So this is, I think, the very likely use case that many will use.
Yeah, okay. A question here then more into about the unit. So what is the IP class? Can you speak to that?
Yes, let's start with this GS flow sensor. So it will be located in some cases, especially on combine harvesters, in a harsh environment, and it is designed IP class is 69K, and then this electrical cabinet gateway box, it is IP 54.
Okay. Okay, looks like we do have another question here coming from the chat. So in the demonstration, the grain used was 100% clean grains, so that is free from any type of material other than grain. So the question following is, could the system be used with grains coming directly from the field without going through a cleaning process?
Yes, so nowadays we are having so-called intelligent math module inside the system, and there is certain criteria for the dirt detection. But of course, that unwanted and mixed material makes it more challenging to measure the actual calibration and apply those. But this camera vision is a really helpful tool to provide more extra information to make it even better. So yes.
Okay. Well, with that actually brings us to the end of the questions that have come beforehand and through the chat. So thanks a lot to all of you that sent in those questions. And if you do have any questions that you didn't get the opportunity to send out, please reach out to us through our website or also through our distributor network. We're definitely happy to answer any questions that you may have. So I would also like to thank Antti for joining me here today. Thanks a lot. Your expertise is really appreciated in handling these questions, so thank you. And large thanks to the audience today as well. We're really happy that you took the time to join us, and we really look forward to working together with you, and we really are happy to see that the orders will start flowing following this event. So thank you very much.